We are at the beginning, almost in the middle, because this Advent is really short. It's only 3 weeks and one Sunday, but we are right there in the middle in the second week of Advent. The season, as you know, is a time of preparation. It's a time of waiting, but waiting with joy. For the one who came, the one who comes, and the one who will come. Let me repeat that. We waiting for the one who came, the one who comes, and the one who will come. That is pretty much my team and with my parishioners, because God shared with us His time, His eternal time. In God, it's no time. So in this preparation, we remember that Jesus, that they become flesh, and we remember the one that came one day in one particular time and in one particular place, Jesus Christ. But also, we are in preparation for the one who comes every day. So every day is an Advent for us. The one who comes every day in our actions, with our family, but especially in the Eucharistic. He comes totally for us. But not being enough, we also are preparing for the one who will come. Jesus will come again. And this is beautiful, especially today that we are reading from the Canticle of the Philippians, because it's really specific. It's a promise. It's a prophecy. What God is going to be doing with us. He say He will give a new form to this lovely body of ours and remake it according to the patterns of His glorified body. That's a promise. That is a promise. No more suffering, no more tears. And that is the expectation that we have. Allow me for a few seconds to to remember one person in particular that lived before Christ, around 357 years before Christ, Alexander the Great. He was known for his campaign and also because he was a conqueror of many nations. But let me mention him because you will say, well, he's talking about somebody that don't even know Christ. But he is known for something really great. This is what they call Alexander the Great. And especially for the bonds between his horse, called Bucephalus. And let me tell you how that relation started. That horse was his original owner was Thessalian, a nobleman who was said to have been enabled to control the wild and untamed horse. Many had attempted to ride Bucephalus, but none has succeeded, and the horse was feared and avoided by many. However, when Alexander saw the horse, he was immediately taken with its beauty and spirit, and he resolved to try to tame it himself. Alexander was still a young man at that time, and many were skeptical of his ability to ride the first and uncontrollable horse. But he approached Bucephalus calmly and confidently, and managed to startle the animal by noticing that the horse was afraid to his own shadow. When people was getting close to the horse, the shadow made him so anxious. That's why he was getting so wild with his own shadow. So Alexander turned Bucephalus toward the sun, so he pulled the horse's head and mounted him with ease. From that moment, the two were inseparable. You will ask, why you mentioned that, Father? I mentioned that because I heard that story a few weeks ago. And this season called us to look which one are my shadows. Many times we are in this life looking in memories of the past. We are many times just looking in what is going on with me in this time. My illness become a shadow, a reflection that keep you looking down. Maybe somebody betray you in a moment of your life and they keep you down. Many times anger keep you down, keep your head down. Disorganization many times keep your head down, keep your head in the shadows. Somebody told me one day, Father, they found in me cancer and I'm terminal. I stop for a moment and I tell her, keep in mind that all of us are terminal. All of us are terminal. It's just about time. It's just about time. So sometimes news like that, sometimes sickness like that, keep you like this horse where you head, afraid of things that many of them they don't even real. A memory of the past. In my community, I have many parishioners that come from a really hard background. People that really suffer in their childhood, people that suffer really hard violence and abuses, and they keep all their life, sadly, with the head down, looking in those shadows. They were real, yes, but you can keep yourself right there. You need to raise your head because there's something else waiting for you. And that's what I'm trying to talk to them, help the people a little bit. I'm sorry that happened. I'm so sorry that happened to you because they don't supposed to happen. But happen. It's the past. Now it's time to raise your head and look in Jesus Christ. Look in the light. When Alexander the Great took his horse and raised his head, he put it to the light. No more shadows. No more shadows for the horse, and all his fears went away. This time, this particular time of season, this particular season of Advent, where we are reflecting in that Jesus that comes and will come, is inviting also to us to reflect. What are my shadows? I know mine, and I try to raise my head. And many times I raise my head and say, okay, good, I'm doing well. But sometimes I get tired and I fell down, but I quick go back to confession. I know my shadows. Now my question for you today is, do you know yours? It's time. Jesus is around the corner. I think that was this Sunday, Father, the second letter from Peter. I think it was the first letter of Peter. mentioned something at the beginning that say, for God, one day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. And after that sentence, the writer of the letter of St. Paul say, he is not late. He's never late. So if you reflect on that, and you see back of the time of wedding, we has been waiting for 2 days in God's time. So he's getting closer and closer. And this is the time for us, this season is the time for us to get closer to him, to raise up our heads and see what I need. What I need. We need to identify those shadows that keep us in desperation many times, in anxiety. Many people in this time, especially in the year, we go, we attend like 9 nursing homes in the Basilica of St. Paul. And I went this morning to visit close to 20 patients. And one of the patients that I visit today, he say, Father, this is the time where more people get depressed, more people get really sad here. And I asked him why. I knew it, but I want for him to say, because we are alone. And I say, but remember, you are not alone. The church come to you today. The church is praying for you. So he looked at me and said, okay, Father. So he raised up his head. He can be in a shadow in that moment of depressions, of loneliness, but he raised his head. I say, yes, Father. And that's why the church is coming to you. And this is the beauty of being a priest. You know, this is my 6 month. Yesterday was my 6th month of my first assignment in the Basilica of St. Paul. So 6 months and a half of my ordination. But what is happening in my life, I never realized that you can be that happy. There are some days that I came to my room and I hardly can walk. Yes, because some days it's like hospital calls and going to the nursing home, 2-3 masses and confessions. When you get to your room, I hardly walk. But my joy, I can't even explain the joy that I have. It's joy, full of joy. You know, Father Ivan was a great part of my call. I was in the process of the permanent deacon. I applied for the permanent deacon. I thought that was my call because I was kind of fighting for my call to the priesthood. So I said, I'm going to the permanent deacon, you know, like nice. Father came to me, can I share that? Yeah. So, and he became my spiritual director. And one day he said, okay, we're going to pray in the main ensemble in the chapel. And he took me to the altar. And he came to me and he said, come to me and just stay over here and pray. So I stay right there and pray. Okay, I pray for the will of the Lord in your life. Okay, I pray for the will of the Lord in my life. And after that, now came over here and pray for the Lord, the will of the Lord in your life. And I start crying. Because even if I fight, even if I feel that I wasn't worthy, and still not worthy, but he is worthy, I knew that was my call, to become a priest. And Father know better that we say, okay, I don't think you're gonna make it, you know. And I say, okay, if God wanted, he will do it, you know. English is my second language, and a lot of stuff that was going on in my life. But you call me, if you want this, I'm yours. Anywhere you want it, as a priest, as a deacon, as a father, whatever you want me. And a few months after, I get the call from the vocational director, and I get called to the seminary. And I went to fast time in the seminary. That, I don't know, that was the will of the Lord in my life. But in those moments, I have to go and look in my shadows and my reflections. Many shadows, many wounds from my childhood, many wounds in my life from my father, wounds in all ways. But God, as this Alexander the Great, pulled my head. That's why I don't have any hair over here, because he pulled my head all the time. You know, stop looking in your shadow. Stop looking in your reflection. Stop looking in yourself. Stop looking in yourself. You are mine, and I want you for myself. So brothers and sisters, this is the moment for us in this time to look. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to look down and say, where I am. Help me, dear Lord, Our Lady of the Advent. Help me to raise my head and look in God. Look in Him. Just in Him. Not to do His will, to live in His will. That every day you say, what you want, it's okay. I don't want it. You know that I want to be here? No, having my mentor in front of me, that's not easy. And I say, okay, I don't want it, but if you want it, I do it. So this is my phrase. I want what God wants. If He doesn't want it, I don't want it. That is my days, that way. And let me close with something also really particular of Alexander the Great. I found it afterwards. He is known also for when he was in his deathbed, he called his son, his generals, and told them his 3 ultimate wishes. And that was really weird wishes. Let me share with you. The first one was that the best doctors should carry his coffin. The best doctors, the most professional one, they should carry his coffin. The second wish was that the wealth he has accumulated, gold, money, precious stones, should be scattered along the procession to the cemetery. And the third wish was that his hands should be let loose, hanging outside the coffin for all to see it. So the general say, okay, King, what is all this about it? So he explained it to them, and he say, I want the best doctors to carry my coffin to demonstrate it, that in the face of death, even the best doctors in the world have no power to heal. Keep that in mind. And the second one, I want the robe to be covered with my treasures, so that everybody see that material wealth acquired in earth stays in earth. And the third one, and the kind of weird one, I want my hands to swing in the wind, so that the people understand that we come to this world with empty hands, and we leave this world with empty hands. Especially after the most precious of the gifts, the time is gone. And what I'm gonna say is mine, because he doesn't knew Jesus, but we know that the special time for us is after we go, to be with Him, to be with the light. So thank you for opening your hearts. Thank you for please keep praying for us, for all the priests. We need it. We really need it. Some days, even if we do the prayers, Father maybe has that experience. I promise, I say, I'm gonna do my prayers every day, and I do it. but sometimes I'm so tired I fell asleep in the middle. So that's why we need you, all of you, to pray for us. To finish it, our prayers. We can say that, like the rosary. I say, okay, guardian angel, help me. So, just finish my prayers. So we need that support, and it's really important. Thank you for what you're doing, and keep in mind that we have to look in the light in this time of Advent. God bless you.